The world is not broken. That's the first lie you need to let die. Nothing malfunctioned. Nothing went wrong. There was no accident, no deviation, no sudden collapse of fairness. What you are experiencing right now, fatigue, frustration, stagnation, the quiet sense that something is deeply off, is not a glitch in the system. It is the system, and it has been working perfectly the entire time. You were told a story, a comforting one, a story designed to keep you calm, obedient, and predictable. You were told that if you followed the rules, the system would reward you, that if you worked hard, stayed polite, waited your turn, and didn't cause friction, things would eventually work out. Look around. Do things look like they worked out? You see exhausted people everywhere. Intelligent, capable men and women grinding themselves down year after year, doing everything they were told to do, and somehow ending up exactly where they started. Or worse, older, more tired, more anxious, and quietly resentful. This is not bad luck. This is design. The system does not reward virtue. It never has. It rewards utility. It rewards predictability. It rewards those who keep the machinery running without asking uncomfortable questions. From the moment you were old enough to sit still, you were trained. Not educated. Trained. Trained to sit, to wait, to ask permission, to raise your hand, to follow instructions that often made no sense. You were praised not for thinking independently, but for complying efficiently. Good behavior was rewarded. Obedience was framed as maturity. Silence was framed as wisdom. And slowly, without ever announcing it, a dangerous idea was implanted in your mind. That being agreeable was the same thing as being safe. It isn't. Safety was never the goal. Stability was. A system does not care if you thrive. It cares if you remain functional. You were taught to believe that the rules exist to protect you, that if you stayed inside the lines would keep you safe. But rules do not exist for your benefit. They exist to regulate behavior at scale, to reduce unpredictability, to make outcomes easier to manage. This is why people who follow the rules perfectly often end up powerless. They confuse compliance with leverage. And leverage is the only language the system actually understands. If you're tired all the time, if you feel like you're always almost there, but never quite arriving, it's because you're running inside a structure that extracts your energy while giving you just enough hope to keep going. Hope is cheaper than reward. Hope keeps you compliant. You were told that effort equals outcome, that the harder you push, the more the universe will eventually push back in your favor. But effort without position is just friction. It creates heat, not progress. This is why some people seem to move effortlessly while others struggle endlessly. Not because they are better, not because they are luckier, but because they are standing in different positions. The system doesn't ask how hard you're trying. It asks where you're standing, upstream or downstream. Most people are downstream, trying to swim against a current they don't even realize exists. They exhaust themselves fighting gravity and then blame themselves when they fail. Meanwhile, those upstream aren't working harder. They aren't morally superior. They simply occupy a position where the current works for them. This is not unfair. It is mechanical. And the most dangerous part is this: once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's why this truth is never stated plainly. It's softened, diluted, buried under slogans about passion, hustle, and positivity. Because a person who understands the mechanics stops blaming themselves and starts questioning the structure. And questioning is disruptive. You were lied to, but not in the way people usually mean. No single villain sat in a room and decided to deceive you. This lie is older than any individual. It's embedded in institutions, incentives, and unspoken agreements. The lie is this: that the system exists to serve you. It doesn't. It exists to use you, unless you learn how it works. And right now, your discomfort is not a sign of weakness. It's a signal. A quiet alarm going off in the background of your life, telling you that the story you were given no longer matches reality. Most people ignore that signal. They numb it with distractions, noise, constant stimulation. They scroll, they vent, they complain, they wait for permission. But if you're still listening, if something in you feels alert rather than offended, it means the lie is already cracking. And once that crack forms, the system can't protect you anymore. Because protection was never its purpose. Once you accept that the world is not broken, a harder question follows. Why do the good ones struggle the most? The honest ones, the loyal ones, the ones who play fair even when it costs them. They don't fail because they lack intelligence. They don't fail because they aren't trying hard enough. They fail because they are playing the wrong game with the wrong rules. Good people are taught that morality is a shield, that if they are patient, generous, and principled, the world will eventually recognize their value. But morality does not function as protection in competitive systems. It functions as signaling. And signals can be exploited. The system is not moved by intentions. It is moved by outcomes. It does not reward how you feel about your actions. It rewards what your actions produce. When you consistently put others first, absorb losses quietly, and avoid conflict in the name of harmony, you're not being virtuous in the eyes of the system. You're being invisible. Invisibility is not neutral. It is a position, and it is a weak one. Every system, social, economic, political, organizes itself around leverage. Who has it, who doesn't, and who is pretending not to need it. The people who struggle the most are often the ones who believe they are above this dynamic. They believe that refusing to engage with power somehow makes them immune to it. It doesn't. It makes them easy to use. Good people are predictable. They announce their intentions. They explain themselves. They over-communicate. They apologize even when they are right. They stay longer than they should. They give second chances to people who already revealed who they are. Predictability feels safe to the person exhibiting it. But to a system, predictability is a handle. If you can be anticipated, you can be managed. This is why the most exploited people are often the most conscientious. Their internal code tells them to endure, to be patient, to wait their turn. But the system does not operate on turns. It operates on positioning. And position is never granted to those who wait politely. There is a quiet cruelty in this that most people don't want to face. The system assumes that if you tolerate being undervalued, you must be expendable. Not because you are, but because you behave as if you are. This is the part that hurts to hear. Because it means your suffering was not random. It was instructional. You were being taught through friction, through loss, through exhaustion. that playing by moral rules alone does not grant power. It grants permission to be bypassed. Good people often confuse being needed with being respected. They take on extra work. They absorb emotional labor. They become reliable to a fault. And for a while, this feels rewarding. They feel useful, indispensable, until they realize they are indispensable only in the sense that a tool is indispensable, valuable, but replaceable. The moment they stop performing, the appreciation fades. The system moves on without them, and they are left confused, hurt, asking the same question over and over again. How did I give so much and end up with so little? Because you gave without leverage. And leverage is the only thing that makes generosity powerful. The truth is uncomfortable. Morality without strength is just compliance with better branding. The system does not punish you for being good. It simply does not notice you. Notice is reserved for those who create constraints, who set terms, who can walk away. And walking away is terrifying when your identity is built around being liked, needed, or approved of. Which brings us to the real trap. Good people are trained to fear withdrawal, to fear silence, to fear being misunderstood. They stay engaged long after the cost outweighs the benefit because disengaging feels like failure. But disengagement is often the first act of power. Until you can remove yourself without explanation, you are not free. You are still negotiating for approval, still hoping the system will eventually see you. It won't. Not until you change position. There is a moment, quiet, unsettling, when the illusion finally collapses. It doesn't happen all at once. There is no dramatic reveal, no applause, just a subtle shift in perception. A realization that the rules you internalized were never designed to help you win, only to help you function. And once you see that, you face a choice. You can double down on the lie. Tell yourself that being good will pay off, eventually. That things take time. That you just need to try harder, be nicer, wait longer. Most people choose this path, not because it works, but because it's familiar. Or you can accept the cost of seeing clearly. Seeing clearly means understanding that power does not announce itself. It does not ask for permission. It does not explain its intentions. It moves quietly, strategically, and without emotional display. This is where most people turn back. Because clarity isolates before it empowers. When you stop explaining yourself, people get uncomfortable. When you stop reacting, they feel exposed. When you stop chasing approval, they lose leverage over you. And they will try, subtly at first, then openly, to pull you back into the old pattern. Not because they are evil, but because your change disrupts the equilibrium. The moment you stop playing your assigned role, the system tests you. It creates friction. It withholds validation. It pressures you to return to what is familiar. This is the price of awakening. You will be called cold, distant, arrogant. Unchanged people always interpret boundaries as betrayal. But boundaries are not aggression. They are structure. And structure is the foundation of power. Power does not mean domination. It means optionality. It means the ability to say no without fear, to leave without panic, to remain silent without anxiety. It means you are no longer running from discomfort. You're using it. This is where the roles reverse. When you stop seeking approval, people begin to seek clarity. When you stop offering access freely, attention becomes valuable. When you stop reacting emotionally, others project meaning onto your stillness. Silence becomes weight. Not because you're trying to intimidate, but because you're no longer leaking information. The system notices this. It always does. But here is the final truth, the one few are ready for. Awakening does not make life easier. It makes it real. You will lose things. Relationships that depended on your compliance will fracture. Opportunities built on your availability will disappear. The noise will fade, and what remains will feel empty at first. That emptiness is not loss. It is space. And space is where power grows. If you're still listening, understand this. Nothing needs to be fixed. Nothing needs to be saved. The world does not need to become fair. You need to become precise. The lie was never that the system would take care of you. The lie was that you didn't need to understand it. Most people never do. They remain functional, busy, distracted, and quietly dissatisfied. But if this unsettled you, if it didn't offend you, but sharpened you, then you already feel it. You're not broken. You were simply playing by rules that were never meant to let you win. And now that you see that, what you do next is the only thing that matters.